won't stop till I hear him say,
I love talking to individuals like you. It's such an open-minded experience, and it's just it's refreshing because 90% of individuals out there are just like zombies nowadays, bro.
Zombies. That's it. Just sleepwalking through life.
Sleepwalking, bro, zombies. Okay, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to another CYPRX video breakdown. In today's video, I would like to introduce you to one of our CYPRX superior traders and also a very good friend of mine, Jeff Hunter, who was recently named the most valuable player in a recent LEC championship win on 25th of February of this year. So that is obviously, of course, a massive accomplishment, right? In a sense, something that I personally could never have achieved in my lifetime. Now, Jeff is a senior playing for the Keene State Owls, which is the number 5th team in the country for Division III basketball that just recently made it once again to be one of the final 16 teams standing in Division III for the 5th time in the last 19 seasons. So in today's video breakdown, we're going to be asking Jeff some questions about this journey, how he balances school, personal life, and trading. And then hopefully throughout this video breakdown, if you guys stay tuned for this, this motivates you all and gives you a firm understanding of how self-improvement, development, discipline, and creating a sound vision will truly drive you towards success in any endeavor that you partake on in life, whether that be in trading or outside of trading. So, excuse me if I look off to the screen. I have my notes here for the questions that I'm going to be asking Jeff. Jeff, what is going on, man? How are you today? Congratulations, bro, on your win. What was it, just yesterday, right? I heard, or at least I read, that you scored, what, like 17 points overall. I think your team had secured a victory of 77 points to 72 points. How's it feel, man, to be this far along in the process, and how are you, brother?
I mean, it's great. Well, thanks for having me first off. I mean, I'm excited to be here and talk to some people that are listening. And I mean, yeah, we had a good game. So we had playing in the national tournament right now, which is like the March Madness for Division III, but basically the same thing as how it works out for Division I. So you go round to 64, then round to 32, and you play back-to-back nights. So Friday night we played Baruch from New York. They came up to Keene State. We played them. I think I had a double or something like that, like 20 points, 11 rebounds, something along those lines. I'm like leading,
just something, no big deal, just something.
I'm leading the country right now in doubles in all divisions. So that's something cool to look at. But ultimately, like, it's just nice that we have a good team right now. Now we're all sticking together and we're playing in the Sweet 16 this coming Friday in Philadelphia. So it's exciting stuff.
That's pretty dope, man. What an accomplishment. Yeah, I was looking at the Keene State website, dude. You're all over it. It's pretty dope, man. The publicity that they create for you guys is outstanding, man. I mean, it's really monumental, and you get to look back at it, when you get older in life, and you get to say, look what I did, maybe present it to your children and whatnot. I mean, I don't know personally if you're looking to go professional, but bro, I mean, some of the things that you are accomplishing on your team, man, is just it's outstanding. So we'll jump into the questions to try and keep this video as short as possible. It's probably going to be a longer one, but let's talk about a very important vocab word that I feel like a lot of people tend to overlook when they think about being successful. And that vocabulary word that I picked out today is discipline. So real quick to the audience, what level of commitment and discipline must one or the team, you could talk about either, or your personal achievement or the team, have to achieve something of this magnitude, winning the championship in the LEC that you guys just recently accomplished, and then making it to the Sweet 16, the 16 teams standing left for this tournament that you guys in, from the start to where you are now? What level of discipline and commitment must you have?
I mean, it takes so much time and effort to really set forward and establish some goals that you have with anything, So our team established a goal of winning every single game, winning a national championship, and winning our conference tournament. So the discipline that it takes as a team is, it's what you do on and off the court, right? How you establish your mindset to believe in yourself and believe in the others around you. So something that I that I did on my own was just, set personal goals and set that structure and that standard of what I'm going to do every single day in order to obtain those goals. And that's like lifting every day, shooting every day, developing your mind so that when you're reading and you can develop yourself to just be continually self-improving. And it goes a long way. It takes time to obtain a mindset that's going to set your team forward and be a leader to help other guys join along and be involved in what you want to do. So our team is really built up of a group of guys that have the same goals, the same process as with anything, right? It doesn't matter if it's a basketball team or a trading team, right? If you all have the same goals and you're all supportive of each other, it doesn't matter what obstacles you face. And you keep working hard, and the discipline, like you said, is just what it takes in order to be really successful. If you're going hard once or twice a week, those days that you don't end up going hard, they're going to catch up to you at some point throughout the season. And it could be, like I said, since we're a trading team, it could be the same thing there, right? If you work hard for a week or two and then you take a week off, I mean, it's going to show up at some point. It may not be instantly, but I guarantee you it'll come back and get you. So constantly working hard and just sticking to a plan and having structure is just so important. You gotta tell yourself that this is what I'm doing every single day and stick to it.
For sure, Bill. That was a good answer, man. It's so interesting. Individuals that have experienced some of the things that you've experienced, or they're going through trials and tribulations and they've accomplished great features in life. They have this unwilling determination to speak the way that you do. And you've something that I just wrote down. I'm gonna side note, take notes as you speak, but you said the level of commitment and discipline that you have to have on and off the court. Now, because we talk about investing and we talk about trading and we talk about cryptocurrency assets and whatnot, and that's our main focus here at CYPRX. I want to kind of correlate the two. Same thing in your basketball endeavors. It's the same thing when you come into the markets. How you approach the markets on and off the charts in your personal life and then in your trading life, it's going to have a direct effect on your trading results. If you're coming to the markets expecting massive gains in your portfolio, but you're not actually doing what it takes, when you close out of your trading view and when you stop placing trades in your personal life, right? You're a crappy person, you don't have or establish good positive habits in your life, then that's all going to reflect in your trading outcome. And it's the same thing, man. Same thing with you on the court. If you're eating junk food after practice, or you're not getting a good amount of sleep, or you're not studying and rehearsing gameplay recordings, or whatever the case may be, how can you expect to improve long-term down the road? So that was a good answer, man. You talked about establishing good habits and a good mindset. Same thing in trading correlation, right? You have to establish that foundation before you even set your sight on winning a championship or making a positive trade. You have to establish that positive mindset. Now, to capitalize on that too, I want to talk about whenever you do experience or start to develop or notice that you're developing bad habits, like you said, on and off the court or on and in trading, you need to have the capability to start to reverse those, to acknowledge them, to admit that you have some bad habits, and how then to go about fixing them. So that way they don't become bad habits and they just become mistakes that you can fix internally over time. So that was a good response, man. I have another note here from what I've heard. Just doing a little bit of research, man. I've never been to college. I never did, just didn't float my boat. But the life of a, yeah, man, you guys know the drill,
It was not for everybody.
The life of a college basketball student, from what I've read, man, can be quite demanding and intense. So I wrote down, you're typically from what I've read, required to balance your academic commitments with your athletic responsibilities, which then in turn, all in all include things like what practices, games, conditioning sessions. I can imagine it's a swarm of what is it like, balancing the two: personal life, school life, trading life, all the things that you have going on. Maybe you have a love life, family, and whatnot. So let's talk about balancing school, social life, personal studies, including things like trading, because you're part of CYPRX. You're one of the CYPRX superior traders that I have a firm belief is going to make some significant gains in 2023. And so I wrote down, what is one piece of advice, obviously, of course, not financial advice, but just kind of like mental, motivational advice that you could give to someone who's in college or living a life right now where maybe they're a single parent or balancing a 9-to-5 job, finding themselves having to juggle a very packed schedule, based off of your experience, how have you been able to combat trading, personal life, and school life? Do you set yourself a schedule? Do you stick to that schedule? Do you have like certain things that you do, habits that you've created, good positive habits that you've created over time? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so sometimes with all the stuff that I do with basketball, school, social life, trading, you name it, sometimes I feel like I'm a 40-year-old man with the way I move, and you know, a lot of my teammates say the same thing. It's like oh yeah, he's 21, but he's like got a 40-year-old mindset, and it's like at some point in life when you determine what it is that you want to achieve, you you're okay with being different than other people. You know what I mean? As a college student, it's not always easy to make that sacrifice of not doing exactly what everybody else is doing, going out partying every single weekend and just hanging out, wasting a bunch of time. And you know, you start to realize that time's your most valuable asset in life. You know, we're all here, and we don't know how long we're here for. So you got to really sit back and reflect on what it is that you want to do. And so at one point, one of my best friends, he kind of just put me on. He put me onto a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and
It's a great book. A great
it's
book.
it's a book that changed my life. So personally, what I ended up doing was just tracking every single thing that I wanted to do. You know, I set my goals and I set my process, and now every single day, my board's up on the wall. It's day 411. So I've been tracking everything that I do for 411 days, and that's just a little way that you can get some sort of instant gratification. I mean, everybody wants to go to the gym and lift and reach their weight goals. They want to put up 225 pounds on the bench, but they've never gone to the gym. And they want to see those results the first time they go there. Or you want to be a successful trader, profitable trader the first time that you look into the charts. But it's like, in realistic, that's not how things work. So in order to that's that instant gratification that I said, right? You want to get it right away, that good feeling, that dopamine fix that you're doing it right. So a good way for me personally to get that instant gratification to fix it is to track, to make sure that I'm doing and I'm lining my process up with my goals every single day. So if I want to be a successful trader, a profitable trader with CYPRX, which I do, I make sure that I'm studying and I'm back testing the charts every single day. And if I perhaps have something that I have to do and I can't get on the charts and back test one day, on my whiteboard, I either have a green check mark or a red X for every single thing that I do. And in Atomic Habits, you never want to start stacking your habits in the bad way. So that red that we talk about, right? It's bad. It's so you think about it in your mind, it automatically starts to tell you that you're doing something wrong. So
100%.
seeing that red makes you you want to keep putting those green checks. It feels good every single night before you go to bed to check off a couple boxes that you did it right, and it shows that you're making one step closer to getting to your goals. And it may take who knows how long. You know, some goals can be set for a year, some goals can be set for a lifetime. So that's one thing that I would give some advice is track the things that you want to do every single day. Don't worry about being different than others. You know, when you have something that you want to be in life, go out and achieve it. You know, the only person that you're going to lie to at the end of the day is yourself. So hold yourself accountable to being the person that you want to be. And then I would say just having a morning and a nighttime routine are really important things to do. My nighttime routine consists of just doing a couple push-ups before bed, brushing my teeth, something simple, and setting my schedule for the next day. You know, if
Yeah,
you don't,
something simple that keeps you consistent.
consistency is just so key over time. It becomes such a habit that you don't even realize what you're doing is so beneficial to you. But when you can schedule your day, something so light that takes 5 to 10 minutes, so that you know what you're gonna do the next day, instead of waking up just at a random time, like, oh, hey, I might go do this right now, or I might go do this right now. But it's a perfect way to balance school, basketball, trading, reading, studying, making some money on the side in order to fund your investments. You have to really take the time out of your day to set that structure, set that time. And when you'll realize that a lot of successful people in life time block their days, and they don't waste any valuable moments.
Good. Yeah, man. Great response. I wrote down a couple of notes from what you just said, man. I think it's so interesting when I talk to individuals like you that have achieved great things in their life, or they're set out to achieve great things in their life. Something that we have in common. I get the same thing that you said in the beginning, is that your friend group or your friend circle, or maybe your family or the people that you surround yourself with, they treat you, or they tell you that you are way ahead of the game in the form of the way that your brain thinks. You said that you're 21 years old, but everyone, says that you act like you're 40 years old. I don't think that it has anything to do with age at all. Some things that I've realized over my life personally is that wisdom and knowledge comes with experience, and it's not necessarily your age. It's you have the ability to realize that, like you said, time is the most valuable asset. Something that I realized early on in my trading career is the poorest man on earth and the richest man on earth have both 24 hours in a day. And when you really take that into consideration, you stop wasting time. And once you have that awakening, like, oh my gosh, 24 hours is not a lot of time, you start to get into this structure of planning, designing, and sticking to a disciplined schedule on how it is that you're going to achieve those goals. Like you said, small attainable goals to reach your long-term goal. Something else that I want to capitalize on what you said is something that I've done in my personal life is to get out of the temporary dopamine fix that everybody wants when they come into the markets and trading. Is we have a natural human inclination to gravitate towards success. When we see that something's going to bring us success or money or love or lust or whatever it is that you personally want, we tend to gravitate towards that. So when you're taking things on like trading or whatever your endeavor is, for example, this basketball career that you're embarking on, when you set yourself small attainable goals alongside a long-term goal or a realistic vision, attainable goal long-term, those tiny little achievements that you can accomplish along the way will not only motivate you along the way, but help you remain consistent on the path to achieving that long-term goal. If you are having a long-term goal, but you're not setting yourself up with these tiny, consistent goals that you can achieve along the way, then when a blockade or some type of failure, which will come along your journey, steps in front of you, you're going to quit. You're going to stop moving forward because that's going to stop you. And you have nothing to look back on and say, well, I've achieved this much so far. Why continue to go forward? You see what I'm saying? So that's a good thing to capitalize on what you just said. Instant gratification, small gains over time. So good response, bro. I love talking to individuals like you. It's such an open-minded experience, and it's just it's refreshing because 90% of individuals out there are just like zombies nowadays, bro.
Zombies. That's it. Just sleepwalking through life.
Sleepwalking, bro. Zombies. So we'll go on to the next one. So you guys just won the LEC championship, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know basketball terms off the top of my head, but from what I've seen on your guys' website, that's what it's called. The Little East, if I'm not mistaken, championship. And during that game, you were announced the MVP, and you all have now made it to the final 16 teams standing in your current tournament. So, I mean, all in all, brother, that's such an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations right off the bat. Like you said in the beginning, it doesn't matter if you're a trading team or a basketball team or, I don't know, developing team, like whatever the team may be. The achievement level that you had to, I guess you could say, strive towards is just insane. So if you had to name one thing, what is the most important characteristic? Just one. You don't have to name a whole bunch, but an important characteristic trait that a team must have in order to succeed something like this, at something like this, in your opinion, man? What is the one characteristic trait that you can capitalize on?
Great culture. Great culture. You need your team needs to have a great culture where it's failure's okay. We're gonna learn from our mistakes, and we're gonna always do our best. We're gonna stick to the plan. We're gonna have our process aligned with our goals, and that's what you're gonna hear me keep saying. Is just that process needs to be aligned with your goals, and your culture is what does that. Your culture has your environment, the positive attitudes. The team has your back. Everybody's bought into giving their maximum effort, and that relates to absolutely every single team. You'll hear a lot of people talk about workplace culture or team culture or whatever kind of culture you want to think about, but that's the number one driving factor to us, because you could be the best basketball team in the world, have the most skilled players in the world on your team, but if you're going to go against a team that has equal level talent and your culture isn't the same, you can't respond to adversity well. When something's not going your way, you're going to all turn on each other, and you're going to ultimately you're not going to work out better, right? Like, that's why our team, in my opinion, is such a great team. We don't respond to referees and how they ref the game if they make a bad call. If a team goes on a 10-0 run, it doesn't matter to us, right? Like, we're going to keep doing exactly what it is that we're supposed to do. And like we've talked about, correlating it to trading, right? In a trading team, you may have all of the confluences set up to go in your favor, right? But you go to enter your trade, and next thing you know, something happens that wasn't supposed to, and you didn't see that news was coming out, and the market, a candlestick wicks out, and you just get hit by your stop loss, right? Well, look, the confluences added up, right? Are you going to take that trade next time? Are you going to look how you can become better a trader? Are you going to look for the news next time? And how are you going to respond to that? Are you going to quit? Or is your team going to have your back, and you're going to teach each other how to become better and how to learn from that? So that culture, in my opinion, is the number one factor to being successful as a team.
I like that. That's going to lead us into the next question. But just to capitalize on what you were saying, I think too, setting a vision, man, having a common vision long term. I talk to you guys all the time about setting yourself a vision and envisioning yourself, whoever you are now in the moment. You go to sleep at night. At least this is what I did to become a profitable trader. I seriously sat down, I manifested, I visualized the things that a profitable trader would do on a consistent basis, setting a disciplined schedule, waking up on time during the days that I set for myself to trade, following the rules and the parameters and the CYPRX confluences that I created to establish an edge in the market for myself to potentially win a profitable trade, to go in my favor, whatever the case may be. But setting yourself up that vision and then filling those shoes. It's the same thing with the team. The beginning of your tournament, the beginning of your journey, you had to have a common vision. And that vision was to make it to the championships, win the title, whatever it was that you guys were winning. But every single person on that team had the same vision as a team. And then most likely on an individual basis, a self-development basis, you guys had individualized steps that you had to achieve. Just like in this trading team, we all have one goal, and that goal is to siphon money from this market, create money out of thin air from these elite bastards that do it on a day-to-day basis, right? We all have a vision as a team, but how as an individual are we each going to progress? Well, we have to take into accountability that we all have our own personal lives. Jeff goes to basketball. Robert's a grown man that has a job. Lisette's a lady that has 3 children, right? We all have these individualized things and characteristic traits that we bring to the table, but we have one vision, and that is to win overall in this market space, understanding that losses are going to be a part of the journey. Like you said, making mistakes, having the ability to correct them, to not fall victim to being a victim of the market and allowing that to get in our way when we take losses, understanding what we need to fix and attaining that long-term vision. So congratulations, man. That was a great feat, the LEC champion, and then making it to the final team of 16, phenomenal. So what you said just now, talking about trials and tribulations, that leads me into the next question, which is, I wrote down, I can only imagine how many obstacles as a team and as an individual you would have had to overcome along the way. So would you mind sharing 1 or 2 of those obstacles or trials and tribulations, whether it be as a team that you may have faced or personally, and maybe talk about how you overcame that situation, what tactics you utilized or what approach you took in order to prevail through that trial and tribulation?
All right. So my junior year last year, we had made it to this exact tournament, the national tournament. We lost in a round of 32, which was the game that we played last night against Oswego State from New York. And we actually played them in Pennsylvania, where we're going to play this upcoming week. And we had lost to them, and it was something that really just stuck in my mind. Like you were talking about that vision. I mean, I couldn't believe that we had lost, and I had 2 points in the game. It was the worst game I've played in my entire life. And it was just something that stuck with me. I never wanted to feel that feeling again. It's just, it's a terrible feeling, right? But it's how you respond to it. So that was one of our biggest failures, where our team, we were young. We didn't know if we were ready or not to be in that situation, but it's how you respond to the failures. The failure isn't a failure if you make it into a success. You got to use that to drive your passion and work harder. And that's something that I did. I mean, I thought I was underweight for my position, so I consistently made that plan of how much food am I going to eat a day, what am I going to eat, how much am I going to lift every single week. So I lifted for 200 and something plus days after that loss. I started lifting throughout the season and lifting on game days, and people were looking at me like, "Hey, why are you lifting on a game day?" And I'm like, "Because you're not."
Because you're not.
Like I'm doing something that's going to set myself forward. People think hitting legs on a game day is something crazy, and I'm like, why is it crazy? Because everybody doesn't do it, right? Like, no, it's not crazy. It's just something that if you have the mindset to just become better and be a better person and learn from something that happened, you know, your drive just pushes you way beyond. You use your mind to just be someone that most people can't even think about being. So that failure there put me in a mindset. It was just like, oh, no, nobody's ever going to stop me again. Like I'm making sure I do everything that I can to be the best version of myself, best player, best leader, best everything.
100%, bro. What a great response, man. The people are listening. I'm telling you right now, this guy right here, this guy's right here, he's on to something. It's individuals like yourself, Jeff, I'm telling you, that are going to be the ones out of the 95% of individuals that lose money in this market or don't become successful in life. You are really checking yourself out for that 5% of successful individuals in this population. And you know, the people that are still sticking around listening, the individuals that are joined on this Zoom call right now, I mean, take notes. I'm telling you, the mentality that this guy has is it's exponential. Something to capitalize on, as you said, how you respond to failure. In my trading career, you guys know Spencer was with me when I lost $1,000 in this market. I'm telling you right now, I literally cried. I got drunk. I was floating down a river thinking I'm going to quit and give up. Like, but how I bounced back from that failure, the next day I said to myself, you know, I'm going to cleanse my body. I'm going to detox. I'm going to study harder. I'm going to work out more to get my mindset right. I'm going to listen to audiobooks. I'm going to watch videos on YouTube that are motivational. I'm going to be a good dad. I'm going to be a good partner to my loved one. You know, all of the things, again, outside of trading, that negative experience that I had in trading allowed me to progress in my trading career. You don't quit. You figure out what you can do to become successful and be a better individual than you were the day prior. And that will drive you towards, again, achieving that long-term vision, that goal that you set yourself in the form of small attainable goals. Great, man. I can't stress enough how phenomenal this call is so far. So we'll end it here, man. Last question, honestly, try and keep it short. If I love this question because this is something that nobody will ever be able to do, in my personal opinion. Again, we never know the type of technology that could be released in the future, but if you could go back 1 year ago or at the beginning of your school's journey, when you guys started this whole basketball tournament, you guys started your first game, right at the beginning of the season, you could go back and you could give yourself one piece of advice to where you are now, your past self, what would it be?
Just push yourself even harder. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Spend even more time doing what you're doing, because ultimately a year ago today is when I start. Like a year ago, like a year and 60 days ago is when I really started like changing my life, right? So that consistency of just doing a little bit every single day stacks up over so much time that people don't understand. It's like that line of plateau where it's like you're working so hard and you're just at a straight line, and then next thing you know, you see your results shoot up through the roof. And I'm starting to see that that's that point that I'm at in life, and in a mini goal, right, where I'm starting to see a lot of things that I set ahead for myself. They're starting to become real life, like the goals that I set of being the MVP of the conference, winning the championship with my teammates, being the player of the year, the defensive player of the year, an All-American, all these things that I set ahead of my time. I'm starting to notice that they're coming true, you know. So looking back at it a year ago, I would just push myself a little bit harder, just a little bit more, because I know the power of your mind. You can push yourself and you control your destination of where you want to go. So I know that I have more in me, and that's why I'll continue to just keep pushing myself harder, because over time I know it'll be really beneficial to my life and my family in the future.
Sweet, man. I'll end with two things that I personally, if I was to go say the same thing, great response from yourself. Back at the beginning of my trading career, I'd say, like, let's just say 7.5 years ago. I'll capitalize on two things that I would say to myself, and I want you guys to really take into consideration what I'm going to say, because a lot of people, I can guarantee, are going to be able to relate to what I'm saying. And then I'll end the Zoom call reading one of my most favorite books that Spencer gave to me when I first met him, which is a motivational book that has a whole bunch of quotes in it, and you're supposed to read it one page every single day. There's 365 pages in it that have 365 quotes, one for each day of the year. So the first thing is, you need to understand, and this is something that I didn't take, into consideration at the beginning of my trading career, and that is focus on yourself. And focusing on yourself is not being selfish. A lot of people that aren't progressing in life, that have a crappy 9-to-5 job, maybe it's your family member, maybe it's your friend, they're going to want to weigh you down, and they're going to tell you that focusing on yourself, studying, you're studying too much, 8 hours a day. What? That's too much. You're going to kill your brain. You're going to do all this. It's ignore it. Focus on yourself, because long term, what that will allow you to do is benefit other people once you've achieved a level of success within inside of yourself. You cannot allow or help others to succeed if you aren't successful yourself. It's actually more selfish, in my personal opinion, to try and go about helping other individuals if you yourself aren't successful and have something to bring to the table first. So understand, if you have kids, focusing on yourself, it's not selfish. One thing that I used to beat myself up over is when I first started taking on trading, my daughter was very young, and I had to spend a lot of time studying. I didn't get a lot of time, even though I was a full-time dad, to take her out to the park every single day or to spend a lot of time with her. But now that I'm a successful trader, I have more free time because I can actually pull money from this market twice a week and then have 5 days out of the week to go spend time with her. And if I didn't take that time in the beginning of my trading career to focus on developing myself, I wouldn't have that time now. So don't feel like you focusing on self-development is selfish. Understand that they will only progress you forward and benefit those around you in your circle. Talking about my circle, Jeff, I've had conversations with you about my inner circle. I think Lisette, I've had conversations with you about my inner circle. One thing that I have done over the past course of my trading journey is I've become an introvert. Number one, because I can't freaking relate to individuals, because my brain operates on a scale and level that is unprecedented to most people. Like I'm always talking about investing and business entrepreneurship and trading, and people are just, they don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. So that that drove me to become independent and just be an introvert and not really talk to my friends and family. But one thing I did notice is that it is healthy to keep a small circle, again, a small circle of individuals that drive you forward, and to stay in contact with them on a weekly to maybe monthly basis, just to check up on them, have a conversation about entrepreneurship or motivation or something that you guys share in common. So what I've done is I've created a circle on my whiteboard, and there's a list of names in that circle and whiteboard of people that I check up on a monthly or weekly basis. And it makes me feel not only that I'm reaching out to individuals, but I'm being more of an extrovert. I'm trying and attempting to share myself with other individuals that progress and move me forward, right? So Jeff is one of those individuals that motivates the shit out of me, even though I'm his mentor in trading. I mean, what some of the things that he said on the Zoom call, I can relate to, I can utilize in my personal life to drive me forward, and I'm sure you all can take notes yourself. So just to end that, it's just taking time for people that drive you forward is not a bad thing. As long as you're cutting out the negativity in your life, whether it's a friend or family member, do that early on in your life and in your trading career or whatever career it is or endeavor that you have in life, and focus more so on the people that drive you forward. It's not a bad thing. All right. So I'll end the Zoom call here with this book. The book is called the Maxwell Daily Reader by John C. Maxwell. I've actually never read the front of this book, interestingly enough, because who cares about the front, right? It's what's in it, right? So this is on page 214 of this book. I'm sure if you guys want to go tackle it and read it, you're more than welcome to. But it reads, people who are consistently improving themselves make 3 processes an ongoing cycle in their lives. Number 1, preparation. Number 2, contemplation. And number 3, application. So focusing on number 1, it says self-improvement team players think about how they can improve today, not some far off time in the future. When they get up in the morning, they ask themselves, what are my potential learning moments today? Then they try to seize those moments. At the end of the day, they ask themselves, what have I learned today that I need to learn more about tomorrow? So this kind of reflects on what Jeff was talking about, is understanding the mistakes that you've made, what you're going to do to drive yourself forward, not quitting on yourself, having that proper mindset of fixing mistakes, not quitting, and understanding what you need to do to fail forward, right? Number 2, contemplation. It says, I recently came across the following statement. If you study the lives of the truly great individuals, which again, Jeff mentioned, it's interesting. Remember I said that our mindsets, everybody that has this positive mindset, it all correlates, bro. It's like an intertwined web of just motivation. You find out that you guys actually share more in common. It goes on to say, the lives of truly great individuals who have influenced the world, you will find that in virtually every case, they spent considerable amounts of time alone, contemplating, meditating, listening. Time alone is essential to self-improvement, which correlates with what I just told you guys, that focusing on yourself and self-development is not a sign of selfishness, especially if you're utilizing your self-development in the long run to benefit those around you in your inner circle, okay? And then number 3, last but not least, application. Applying what you've learned is sometimes difficult because it requires change. Most people change only when one of 3 things happens. They hurt enough that they have to, which is something that I experienced. I'll talk about that in just one second. They learn enough that they want to, or they receive enough that they are able to. Your goal is to keep learning so that way you want to change for the better every single day. So I'll capitalize on the first one. In my trading experience and in my life, I've always been the type of individual that has to learn the hard way. I've talked to you guys about my trading experience. I never demo account traded. I was always the type of person that had enough money when I got out of the military. I was just buying challenges. I think I spent like over 25 grand taking challenges before I passed my first one. I cannot stress enough, learn from my mistakes. I'll give you an example. Justin, who is an individual that's going to take a challenge this month, he has been demo trading on a demo account, proving to himself that each month he can provide results of 8% on a demo account before he actually went and purchased a live trading account. Okay, prop firm challenge, right? That's something I never did. I had a Zoom call with him yesterday congratulating him because he learned from one of my mistakes. I talked to him about it way back when he first joined CYPRX, demo account trade. Prove yourself that you have what it takes to utilize the strategy here that we trade with CYPRX to pull 8% from the market before you go and waste your money on a challenge. Don't learn from mistakes if you don't have to create those mistakes in the first place, okay? If you can avoid mistakes, by all means, do that. Don't learn the hard way when the easy route is already readily available to you. So I'll end the Zoom call there. Jeff, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk with you today, man. Congratulations. I can't wait to link up with you, bro. It's going to be monumental. We're definitely going to try and congregate something for this summertime, man. The summer's coming up, and I don't know about y'all, but I've been working on my bod, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Good times, everybody. Guys, thank you so much, everybody, for listening and tuning in. Jeff, thanks. Everybody else, blessings to you guys. As always, be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys on the next video breakdown. You guys
Bless you too.
Everybody take it easy.
Bless, bro. Bless.
Take it easy.
I won't stop till I hear him say